Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Muska.
Welcome to Overwatch Central. So today we're going to be talking about Roadhog. And there's a lot of different things to discuss that are at play here. Tanks seem to be the flavour of the week at the moment, and Roadhog is kind of king right now. Not to mention we need to talk about his hook, which is currently being reworked at the moment. But really the bottom line is this: why is Roadhog so good right now?
Triple tanks, as we've gone over before, is extremely viable this season, more viable than it has ever been in the past. We've covered this many times, so we're not going to go over specifics anymore in this video at least. But anyway, Roadhog pretty much is the new Reaper to some degree. With the nano boost no longer increasing speed, getting away from Beyblades has never been easier, and it's also harder to tear through tanks than it was earlier. So basically right now Reaper has put on a few pounds, got himself a hook, but in general the main factor towards picking the hero is still the same: the damage. Intense close-up shotgun damage to take out the beefy heroes in the meta is extremely good, and Roadhog is basically the tank you pick for damage now. He's incredibly good for it, so do pick him. Also there's the hook, but we'll get onto that in just a second.
How you should play Roadhog at the moment is currently up for a little debate. It's similar to D.Va in that you have two ways you can really play her. You can either hunt and chase for picks, or you can add intense pressure onto the Reinhardt by constantly barraging his shield. At higher level play, both teams will try and get into a fight and try and kill the enemy Reinhardt's barrier before theirs gets destroyed. From there, ultimates get used and team fights are won and lost. As someone that can play a lot of Reinhardt, it's a nightmare to run into so much damage. But when it comes to going against a Roadhog, you can't just drop the shield for fear of being hooked. So charges, fire strikes and melees become less and less of an option just in case you're pulled out of the equation. Roadhog is exceptionally good at this with his right click, being able to throw a lot of damage at the shield, and as soon as it goes down, either for the Reinhardt resting it or it breaks, the Roadhog can either hook you or it can hook the important people in your team. D.Va is very similar in the ability that she can right click and defense matrix to protect her team's barrier, but also do a lot of damage to the enemy team one as well. So when it comes to battling out in chokes, having a Roadhog on your team to just throw a lot of damage into barriers and shields is a pretty good thing to have.
The other way to play Roadhog we briefly glossed over is to get important pickoffs, and that leads nicely onto the old hook and kill combo. Nobody can kill a 200 HP hero as effectively and reliably as Roadhog can do right now. Once that hook lands on a lower health hero, you can pretty much guess how the fight is going to go. This is another main reason why Hogman seems to be everywhere. Supports have to constantly be careful, and having an enemy hog on the other team means you can never sit comfortably just in case that hook lands. As we touched on earlier, hooking tanks also has its advantages by pulling Reinhardts out of position, interrupting their charges, and also tearing apart D.Vas. If the hook lands and your team can burst her down, D.Va will be out of her mech in seconds as she can't defense matrix when stunned. D.Va being the other really major tank in the current meta makes the hook incredibly important, especially for this reason.
The hook isn't a fun favourite across the players of Overwatch. It's janky, unpredictable, and, to lack a better word, often pretty bullshit. This isn't the problem with Roadhog though. The problem is with how often he has the hook off cooldown. 6 seconds isn't a long time for the hook to wait, especially if you have a good accuracy with it. That's why you see the pros using it at every opportunity because of its low cooldown. A general issue we see across a lot of players is worrying about hook accuracy, and honestly you just want to be using it on cooldown as liberally as possible. It's better to have a 25% hook accuracy catching 10 people than 70% of hook accuracy catching 7. But just be a bit more mindful of when you want to use it to interrupt a Reaper ultimate, McCree ultimate, stuff like that. It would be a real shame to see Roadhog hooked in anywhere, as the triple tank meta isn't necessarily his fault. He's just one of the only options people can play to get any meaningful damage out. I mean, this is why we've seen some of the best pro players in the world switch to playing Hogman. Tavik, Taimu, Mendo, players that are known for playing flare heroes like McCree, Tracer, Genji's Maze, etc. are now playing the Hog exclusively just because of the lack of options to deal with fat heroes, and also picking off the skinny ones. And really, it's not a good sign.
So to finish off, let's go over some ways to deal with the problematic Roadhogs. First of all are some heroes that you should swap in, or at least consider swapping in. Zenyatta has always been able to shut down Roadhogs effectively with the Discord Orb. Just having his whole team burst damage on top of that makes for a quick kill a lot of the time, even if Roadhog heals. This nicely transitions over to the next hero, Ana, who can land that anti-healing grenade on our fat man too, which is a pretty big deal for Roadhog. Same thing, just burst him down after this as he's extremely exposed and can't be helped by his team. Zarya can turn Roadhog's damage against him and protect much weaker heroes with her shield if they get hooked. It's not really one of those key picks that really helps you out against a Roadhog, but if you have one, then make sure to shield your teammates if they're hooked, and make sure to shield yourself to bait the hook as well. Reaper isn't as strong as he once was with that nano boost nerf, but he can still deal a lot of damage to Roadhog if he gets up close. And finally, just play a better D.Va or a Roadhog. Just remember in Roadhog's duels not to hook first. He who hooks second in a 1v1 is more likely to win the battle actually. Other than that, try to be a little bit unpredictable with your movements, bait the hook as much as possible, and use those opportunities when it's on cooldown as an advantage in the next fight. Call it out, jump the hog, win the fight. Let us know if you have any more tips about dealing with Roadhog, drop them in the comments below. We'll make sure to pin, heart, read, thumb up or whatever, but we definitely want to hear what you have to say.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Do let us know what you think of Roadhog in the comments below, if you would change him, how you would play him, and other little bits of information like that. Thanks again for watching, take care, and we'll see you next time.